Hello, Spider fans. We are here for a very special Facebook chat with the cast and crew of Spider-Man Far From Home. Everybody ready?
Yes.
All right, so we asked fans across all of the Spider-Man social pages for some great questions, and so we pulled some really fun ones.
Wait, there's Spider-Man social pages?
So many of them. It's wild. I know. So let's see. We got one in here on Twitter from Tom's Marvel. He says, how much higher would you guys say the stakes are in this movie compared to Homecoming? And I think that's a good one to sort of just overall look at what's going on in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Well, Sam, you had a really nice soundbite, which I've stolen, by the way, and I'm going to say it now.
Okay, nothing.
Sam said, we've taken Spider-Man out of Queens and we've put him on the world stage, you know, and that in its own right ups the stakes, you know. And I often say that Spider-Man's gone from the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to now the friendly universe saving Spider-Man.
Not because he wants to.
Not because he wants to, but because Nick Fury is a dick.
He is kicking and screaming. Yeah.
That's going to be the full quote of this whole thing. I love that. All right, let's bounce around. Let's see. Jacob.
Yes.
My Stan account on Instagram
Oh.
asks, how would you describe Ned and Betty's love story in 3 words?
Cute, gooey, and and sweet.
Sounds like my
Yeah.
favorite dessert.
Yeah.
2 words.
My favorite.
I didn't think of one. I'm sorry.
Gooey and sweet.
Yeah.
Jake, how does it feel to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh, it's an honor. So cool. And it's so cool to be a part of this movie in particular because to sort of add on to what Tom said at the beginning, I had seen the first movie and I thought the tone of the movie was so great. It was so funny, full of action. But this movie is 10 times the size. It's a huge film. It's overwhelmingly huge. It's amazing. And so to be a part of that is really exciting. And to just join up with everybody, people who I admire and who I have loved working with is great.
And now that Tony Stark's gone, we need a new orator. He's killing his monologues. I was sitting there like, oh, that's what he's doing? And he's explaining it. It makes sense. Awesome. We have a new orator.
This one comes in from Lewis's tweeting, and he also asks, what appealed to you most about playing Mysterio?
Oh, wow. Well, I think the take on Mysterio from the comics into the movie is different, you know. And I love that he teams up with Spider-Man and that Nick Fury kind of makes them meet each other and then they realize that they have a lot in common as a result of that. And I loved the idea that they would join up and be friends and that they would be heroes together, which is so different from what people would expect. And I really just loved the suit. The suit was sweet and
I said cute, gooey, and sweet. Yes, sir.
my suit was
Yes, sir.
sweet, gooey, and cute.
You know what?
Use the
Whatever. I'm done.
All right. There's a question here for John, and this one is from Twitter user Argella12. They ask, how was the name Far From Home chosen?
I always don't know if I should.
I was going to say home. I made a long list of things that could have home in it. So, home on the range didn't make any sense.
Homesick.
Homesick seemed
Yeah.
kind of gross.
Yeah.
Sick, like
Yeah.
people don't like that. So far from home cooking.
It's funny, we shot the first film that was called Spider-Man Homecoming
Homework.
thousands of miles away from my home, and then we shot Spider-Man Far From Home 25 minutes.
Must have been fun.
Yeah, it was quite nice, actually.
So we have a question here for Kevin and Amy. This one comes in from Instagram. It's the In Progress Artist. They ask, without spoilers, obviously, how would you describe Peter's development as a character after the loss of his second father figure in Tony Stark?
I think in this movie he becomes a man. I think in this movie he goes from being a boy who is looking for a mentor to through his relationship with Mysterio and Nick Fury being on him, I think he becomes a man by the end of the movie. And I think
Sam.
that
By the end of the movie,
In the movie, right? Okay, sorry.
there's an asterisk.
Spider-Man.
It wasn't about you.
In the movie. That was my joke.
Well, that's the. I mean, that goes to the title as well. Far from home, he's physically out of Queens and on this European trip, which, by the way, was somewhat inspired by the European homecoming tour. And we went to Paris and London. We thought, wouldn't it be fun if that's what the next movie was about?
I remember being on
Yeah.
a rooftop in Rome doing something like this, and I looked out and I saw a Spider-Man on one of those roofs with Rome as the backdrop, and I was like, that'd be a good movie.
That's the next movie.
So cool. I didn't
But
know
also,
that.
he's far from home.
I mean,
Far
like,
from the comfort of the Avengers, far from his mentorship with Tony, who's gone. So that was sort of the double meaning of why we chose that name from that long list of home-related titles.
Just wait, there'll be many more homes.
Spider-Man Homeless will be the next one.
That was one.
This question from Tyler Redman on Facebook is for you, Zendaya. Peter and MJ's relationship this time around seems more complicated in Homecoming. How do you approach playing a character that has so many different feelings and emotions towards a very specific person?
I think you just be honest with it, you know? Like, adolescence is awkward, and it's uncomfortable, and it's weird, and you don't know what you're doing, and you just kind of, like, let that happen, and we've all been there, and you just kind of relive it all over again. But I think what's sweet about, I think, their relationship is they kind of have to lean on each other. We've all been through, like, this weird thing, and now we're just kind of stuck together, and we've always kind of been, I think, the outcasts, and I think that they find and they actually can see each other and appreciate each other for all the weird, quirky awkwardness that they are, because that's just who they are, and they like it about each other, which is really, really sweet, I think. And I don't know, I think we've done awkward really well, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think we get to peel back the layers of her. I think she's very guarded and just kind of let the gooey
open happen.
It's so good.
It's so fun.
In the movie. It's so good.
We were saying the awkwardness comes so naturally because we all know each other so well that when we're acting with each other,
It's
I'm
awkward.
like, why? I know you're not like that. Like, why are you doing that? I can see right through you. So it is quite awkward, isn't it? When we're all.
We're all doing stuff together,
Question in here for Sam. This one comes from Aisha Graham on Facebook. Aisha asks, this is Nick Fury's third appearance in a Marvel movie this year, which is wild. How does it feel to be the connective tissue for the MCU?
Oh, well, that's always been sort of the pride of, Nick Fury and being able to connect all these different, people together from the first time I showed up. It's kind of like I've been that guy that says, okay, you're in this one, and you're in this one, and then all of a sudden I'm not like, okay, where am I? So I'm not around, I only feel awkward about Civil War because I couldn't stop the kids from fighting. It's kinda like,
That's why you weren't there.
where was I? Well, I probably ran into Jewel somewhere and I was walking around, hanging around, walking around. But no, it's a great sense of pride for me to bring all these, different elements together when I have the opportunity to do it.
Tom, this question is from William Sepulveda on Twitter. William asks, if you could have